What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I am in Newark on a little park lake with Shane and we're out to try and catch some carp. We're on a bit of a short session, but yeah, it should be interesting. Look at that lake, love it. Let's get us some carp. My tactics for this place is, because it's quite shallow and quite clear until you get a bit out, but the fish do come quite close. Now we've gone quite light, haven't really set much up. Just got one rod out and I'm just doing a pellet feeder with Sweetcorn on the bottom. I'm baiting this area here, I'm baiting this area here, and then I have seen some fish out here, so that's kind of where I'm trying to hit, but then I'm keeping these options open. Like I say, there's been a lot of fish surfacing. You can see from my face, I can see it in the screen of the camera, that I look like a beetroot. Today's been about 28, 29 degrees, so there's a lot of carp on the surface. You're not allowed to surface fish here, so that's out of the question. I mean, you can go just under the surface and things like that, but they're not interested on that. All the carp that are basking in the sun, they're not interested in feeding. They're taking the odd little bug that's on the water, but apart from that, they're not taking any of our baits. I'm sticking to the bottom because there will be a few, you know, they've not long finished spawning, so hopefully can nab one or two. Now this is the basic setup. I've got a pod there because it's a new pod. I haven't really tried it. I'm just setting it up to try, and I've wedged it between the actual slats, so that's pretty good. I have got the Shimano 4000 bait runner on, so that is good to go. And the reason I've angled it just in this one and not put on the proper pod is because I'm just out there at the moment hoping to nick a bite over there. When I'm further out, then I put it on the pod, and then when I'm over that way, I'll put it on the pod. But I thought I'd just show you what's going on here. So I've showed you this in my recent bag video. I carry a massive selection of boilies, pop-ups and things, little wafters, so I don't have to carry all the pots. So that's what I've got going on there, and I'm just running through different ones, plus Sweetcorn, good old trusty Sweetcorn, and then this is my pellet mix. So this is just some scretins, just soaked them for a little bit. I put a little bit of Sweetcorn juice in there. There's some lava rocks in there, a little bit of a chocolate orange glug in there, just a tiny bit, just to, you know, give it a little bit of a boost. And then it was a little bit wet, so I chucked just a tiny bit of the F1 Sweet. So it's a good mix of pellet and a little bit of ground bait in there to go on the feeder. I've got to admit, I really do like using the pellet feeder, the method feeder, you know, using pellets or ground bait, making a lovely morsel like that with a nice little bit of corn. All I need is a carp to actually come and take it, or any fish for that matter. Any fish will do, just so I haven't blanked. But come on, look at that. If you was a fish, you'd be on that, wouldn't you? You'd be on that. And I wish this was smell-o-vision, because that smells banging.
Hello, you lovely lot. I'm back on the pot on the lake this time. Yeah, I've come into a local lake, so it's a private lake. You can't just get a ticket and expect to come here. It's actually a members only, which obviously me and Darren are. So I'm using 2 rods today because obviously I've got a 2-rodded license. And make sure wherever you're fishing, make sure you're allowed to use two rods and stuff like that, people, please. Because obviously it's just a little bit of communication with the bailiff or wherever you got the ticket from. Just make sure that you've got the license, the ticket to use 2 rods. So I've got one already in the water, as you can see down there, on peg 17. So I've kept this rod out because I wanted to explain you my method of madness, as always. Shane's method of madness, we'll call it. So I'm using the Daiwa ends-on rod with the Daiwa 3000 RB bait runner reel, and obviously only using the bait runner side because I've got the 2 rods out. So usually I would have a normal other reel as such on there without the bait runner side, but I put the bait runner on because obviously I've got using the 2-rodded option. It's a 12-pound Daiwa Hypersensor line on that, by the way. So on the business end, I'm using a pellet feeder, then a 4-inch ear rig. Let me put it on my leg so you can see it better. So it's a 4-inch hair rig, 9-pound line, 9-pound hair rig, and the bayonet stop, the quick bayonet stop on there for me corn. And then as you can see, My choice of bait is a few pellet, screttings, and then obviously the trusty tin of corn. What do you reckon to that, Dazza?
Looks brilliant, mate. What was that on?
That was caught with a couple of blades of the good old-fashioned sweet corn. What a beautiful fish.
Well, you've been here half hour.
Thank you very much, mate.
Love it. I just come running over because Shane's into his second carp of the session. Oh, it looks a good one. It looks like a common.
It does look a common. Yeah, it just like I say, I was just getting ready to move it because obviously I hadn't had any touches for a bit, and I thought to myself, you know, I'll just move her up.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, as I went down to go and get my rod, it literally just shot off. She's gone through some weed as well, so I'm not just playing the fish alone. Look, you can see the weed I've got there. I've gained that as well.
There is a lot of weed in the lake at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah. That's the discussion, that's the topic about the weed.
Yeah. What is this one on?
This one's on the corn.
Sweet corn.
Yeah, I've been peppering some corn across, and then I've been getting some pellet across there.
Nice.
And I've been about 15, 20 foot in front of the tree.
Yeah, let's have a little look. So the fish is just there coming in, and you've just been about over there?
Yeah, in front about 15, 20 foot in front of the tree.
Yeah. So what was your method?
So another common, she was 20 foot out in front of the tree, and I was using a method feeder with some corn, and I was putting the pellets over the top. I was putting the pellets over the top, and it just went. In fact, I was going to move it. Because I haven't had a touch for a bit, and then as I went down to the rod, it literally just ripped off.
Beauty.
And there she is.
How much do you reckon?
If I had to have a guess, I would say probably 15. As I'm just inspecting her, obviously, and had a picture with her, I've noticed that on her lip, she's got a little bit of a sore. Now, obviously, that must be previous as well, because if you have a look, you can see the nodules and stuff, where it's either been, you know, obviously from a previous angler or something like that. But while I'm here, I thought, well, I may as well quick spray her with a first aid spray anyway. You can see it, look at that. Then I'll get her back in.
Lovely carp. Just resting her up now, ready to then put her back. But yeah, that is a stonking carp, mate.
I'm over the moon again, mate. Doing well.
Yeah, 2-0.
Don't matter about that, at least we've seen some fish.
2-0. So this is my rig. It's pretty simple. It's just a Preston inline feeder, which you can change quite easily for a different kind of feeder, or a weight, or a little bomb or something like that. So I can change any points through the session. And then it just goes down to a little bead, down to a little 4-inch hook link with a hair rig. And then I'm just putting some sweet corn on it. But I have got a whole selection of baits, as you've seen from my collection. I do carry a load of them, so I can be changing throughout the session. I put a few yellow wafters on just to see if they will imitate sweet corn, because I've been chucking sweet corn out, and I know sweet corn works well on here. But yeah, as of yet, nothing. The evening is drawing in, and yeah, it's not looking good at the moment. Shane's had 2, I've had zilch. It looks like he might actually win this one. Not that it was a competition, but I mean, you always want to catch at least something. You don't want to blank when other people have actually caught as well. But hey, you win some, you lose some. There is still probably an hour left, but yeah, I had the Swans coming in, and I said to you that this area here is very shallow, and here is very shallow. I had a load of 2 swans come in with a load of cygnets. And they absolutely destroyed my swims there. The parents could get down to the bottom. They were just stripping all the sweet corn and pellets that I had down there. Absolutely destroyed it completely. So they finally disappeared. Whilst they were here, I then brought the rod in, and I went out to the middle, because there was no point. I didn't want them hooking themselves or anything like that. So yeah, they've finally disappeared. I've put some more Sweetcorn out, some more pellet, and put my rod back there to this side. This tree does go quite under, so the carp do come in and out. Fingers crossed. Now I know it seems like I'm making excuses and complaining about the swans and this, that, the other, but look, I keep dragging in stuff like this. Look how much weed there is. It's just trying to find a clear spot down there is really, really difficult. I mean, this weed comes off really easy, but you know, it's just a mess down there. An absolute mess. If you've got any hints, tips or tricks for dealing with weed like that when you're doing the pellet feeder, then please drop them in the comments below, because I would love to know them for the future. That is us all packed up, ready to go. Not a bad little session.
No, obviously it was all right. I thought nothing of it at the first, and then I thought to myself, do you know what? As soon as that rod went round, get on.
I haven't caught anything apart from a tan by the looks of it. I'm a beetroot. I'm sitting on camera and then look, it's just awful.
What I don't understand is you're in the shade here.
I know, I told you, I can't be in the sun. I know there's this thing called sun cream, but I don't like it, so I have to hide. But it's great to be back out in like a mid-afternoon session, isn't it?
100%, mate. It's been so long since we got hold of the rods and that, and especially on camera.
Yeah.
You know, to share it with everybody else and so on, tips
100%.
and that. So,
but yeah, no. So you had two commons on Sweetcorn.
So yeah, obviously been feeding the pellets as well as using the corn on the air rig as the bait.
Yeah.
Kept firing them across, as well as the corn, obviously on top, and then one to the right hand side and one to the left hand side.
Yeah. So you went for the same almost tactic as me to keep a few streams going.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you know, but I got mullered by the swans.
Yeah. Well.
So the swans come into my actual swim. And because I've been baiting so heavily on the left and the right, they literally devoured it for about 10 minutes. So I had to bring the rod in from there, and then they went over. Then I moved it over to the right.
They moved over to the right. Mate. They're not daft.
So I moved out to the middle. So they destroyed both swims.
Yeah.
And the weed. You've been struggling with the weed.
Well, as you know, obviously they'll see on camera when the fish have both been wrapped in weed.
Yeah.
Obviously they're not daft. They know. But yeah, obviously just persevere with them, and then obviously they'll come through. But yeah, I've had to deal with the weed too.
Yeah. So if you have got any hints, tips or tricks about dealing with the weed and finding a clean spot, I know there's you can spot around and this and that, and you can lead your way around and feel the bottom and that. But if you have got any hints, tips or tricks, then do drop them in the comments below, because I definitely I could use them, because I haven't caught.
Even the best of us want to learn new tips and tricks.
100%,
you know? And not only that, something that you say that is watching might help somebody else.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, so drop them in the comments. But we're going to be out a lot through the summer, so yeah, stick around. If you haven't subscribed, then hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take it easy. Bye.